This is the E-Lux Newport. It's their second model, more of a traditional beach cruiser type of bike. It comes in high step, like you're seeing here, as well as step through for people who, might not want to span that bar quite as much. Both of them have this really cool frame design that brings the pedals forward a little bit, and you can even see that the down tube on the high step version, the top tube connects at the seat tube a little bit lower, so it just brings standover height down. Really relaxed, comfortable ride on this thing. Nice oversized saddle, swept back bars with these rubber ergonomic grips with lockers. They aren't name brand, I don't see a label, but they're quality. Like this bike definitely feels nice. They've got all the bells and whistles with an integrated headlight right here, 4 LEDs. Looks really nice. And that's wired right into the battery pack back here, so you don't have to worry about replacing batteries separately. Same thing, there's a light built in. It's a Spedingo Lineo. You just press that power button on, off. Really wonderful setup in my opinion. I got to talk with these guys because this is their second model. The first one was more of a fat tire bike, so I might cut to them and just get a little feedback. Well, I'm here in Huntington Beach, California, and I'm meeting with the eLux team. How's it going, guys?
Woo-hoo! Good.
This is sweet. I've been getting a little bit of background about the company. It sounds like it was started in 2006 or around that time by Jerry. Is that right?
Exactly.
That's awesome. And you're kind of the engineering guy. You started and you're making conversions with maybe like ElectricBikes and some other cruiser styles way back then?
Yes. Yeah, all kinds, basically any kind of bike people brought me, but I did like the Electras because they were much higher quality bikes.
And then there's Josh and JP, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, okay, so you guys connected with Jerry, it's like 3 J's early on, and then eventually kind of brought some marketing and distribution.
Yeah, correct. We kind of hooked up with Jerry here about 2.5 years ago, and the whole eLux thing developed, and with our importing capabilities and his brain, we were able to put something together here, and it's been just awesome ever since,
That's wonderful.
And then, obviously JP's handling all the operations and all the stuff overseas.
Right, JP.
And also running our dealer network. So it's been really fun. It's been a great experience so far, and the product is what makes it the funnest, because we get to take it out and have fun with our wives.
Well, you just love electric bikes, don't you, Josh?
Dude,
I know.
I'm flat out addicted to them.
How many models do you have now?
I have 12 bikes in my garage.
Oh my gosh.
In 11 different colors. And my wife and I, every weekend, we're just going to Laguna, to Sunset, to Seal, on bikes that Jerry built me 10 years ago, all the way up into eLux now.
And they're still going. The bikes from 10 years ago.
Well, he's a good support. He supports it. So.
I bet. That's handy. On that note, what kind of warranty are you offering? What kind of dealer base do you have at this point, just in case someone's watching this and they live in Michigan or something?
Well, right now the current dealer base is Southern California, but we're getting ready to be expanding out across the country.
Okay.
So, and that's probably going to be taking place later this year. We'll have more dealers across the country. As far as warranty goes, we have a 3-year warranty on the frame, and it's a 3-year limited on the battery. So the first year we'd replace the battery, the second, third year we'd prorate it. So,
wow, okay.
Yeah, and currently our dealer network in California is about 13. We have 13 dealers across
13 dealers.
Up to Santa Barbara, to Tahoe, to San Diego, all up and down California.
Do you want to shout out to any of the first ones? Or?
JP.
Well, the first one's probably like Sam at Myron's
Extreme Machines. Yeah, that's great.
The guys at Bike Attack Electric in Santa Monica are awesome folks too. And then Chris from Pedigo Temecula has been doing a lot of work out in the desert.
That's awesome.
Really well,
That's awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to jump in and check out these different bikes, but it's just fun to, put some faces with the names and connect the dots. So thank you so much, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Cool. So let's zoom in on some of the features of this bike. As you can see, there's a 5-magnet cadence sensor down there. And normally I complain that 5 magnets isn't a whole lot, but this one's actually pretty responsive. When I got on, I pedaled and it kicked in pretty much right away, and it cut out with a bit of delay, but not too bad. And being a cadence sensor, that means that you're really not going to have to push too hard to get the motor to activate when you're pedaling. And that's kind of nice because this bike does weigh about 57.5 pounds for the high step version here. So that's kind of a lot. And, I guess most cruisers that have fenders, steel fenders here, steel chain guard, you got the rack and everything, that adds weight. Even just the tires. These are 26 by 2.125, so they're a little bit fatter, kind of that beach cruiser style from Kenda. Gives you a little bit of cushion, and that's nice because there isn't suspension on this thing. There isn't a suspension seat post either. I believe this is 27.2 millimeters in diameter, so you could replace that with a suspension seat post, but I might get another sort of locker clamp here just to really tighten it down, because those seat posts, they can kind of push down over time when you're riding. The saddle that they've got, again, it's pretty nice. It's got those elastomer bumpers and everything, and all in all, with the steel fork, the bike, it rides pretty well. You know, I wasn't going super fast. I was riding in the first couple levels of pedal assist, just enjoying myself out on a beautiful day, you know, in a park and going over cracks and bumps and stuff. It felt pretty good with those bigger tires. The frame is a little bit more flexy. It's kind of aluminum, and you can see that most of the weight here is towards the rear. You got the battery up high towards the back, motor towards the back as well. Hey JP, I just got back from the ride.
Excellent.
How's it going? I really enjoyed the bike, and it's interesting because looking over at your Tahoe model, you've got sort of the mid-frame battery, and I always talk about balance, weight distribution and stuff. Why did you guys go with the rear rack for the Newport?
With the Newport, we were trying to determine whether we would go with a behind the seat post design or in the back like that, and it's a little bit of a trade-off. And one of the reasons that we wanted to go with a battery that was further back was so that we could get a better lean angle here on the seat post, so that we could have a more pedal forward kind of feel out of the bike. And then the other reason we wanted to do that is with the battery behind the seat post, there's a height limitation. And so with this bike, with the battery being where it's at, it allows us to get the seat a much further down. So we can get down to about this high, maybe.
That's great.
And we may be coming a little bit lower on our next model to where we can get this down even further, because a lot of bikes are just a little bit too tall for some people. So we wanted to be able to have a bike that, you know, everyone could ride.
Thanks for highlighting some of that. You know, again, sometimes it's like, well, why? And it's neat to talk to the team and get the official answer. Again, I still think it does add some frame flex and stuff, but the kickstand's really sturdy. That battery, you know, 48 volt, 10 amp hour, it's actually pretty slim, and it looks pretty nice back there. And the rack, do you guys know the weight rating for the rack? Is there?
I think it's about 20 or 30 pounds.
20 or 30 pounds, yeah. A lot of times it's like 55 pounds just a rack, and then I imagine the battery on there, you know, takes some of that capacity down. So 20 or 30 pounds is still a lot if you've got panniers or a bag.
Yeah, we've had panniers and bags hanging off them and haven't had any kind of issues with those.
I like it. Look at the bungee cords. Cool. This is an 8Fun 500 watt internally geared hub, 500 watt nominal, about 750 peak. So it's powerful and very, very zippy. I love that it's black. It matches the spokes. It matches the rim. Depending on the color you get, by the way, it comes in like black, gloss white, kind of a powder blue, seafoam green, depending on whether it's step through or high step. But you know, it's just nice. Like everything kind of matches, even the rack, and you get the bungee cords and stuff. So it's just really feature rich, and there's a pannier blocker. All of this with a 1-year comprehensive warranty, and it's $1,895. So it's like under $2,000, which is pretty good. You know, this is comparable to something like Pedigo or I think Motive. You know, there's a bunch of companies that make kind of the cruiser style bikes, and while I'm not a huge fan of having a bunch of weight high up towards the rear, you know, at least you get a usable rack out of the deal, and it keeps that top tube a little bit lower, and just all the wires and stuff integrated into the frame. You can see they even got this plastic kind of wire organizer in the front. It's unique, something I haven't seen. There are quite a few wires coming from the brake levers. Mechanical disc brakes, front and rear, 180 millimeter Tektro Novella, decent stuff, you know, and quick release on the front wheel. I'm glad I didn't miss that. That's kind of cool, because if you're transporting this around, you want to reduce some of that weight. You can slide the battery pack out, take off that front wheel. I love that the key does not have to be left in on this pack when you're riding, because it won't jingle. On their other model, the Tahoe with the fat tires, you do have to leave the key in, which is like meh. But again, just good stuff. Kind of an extra piece of tubing right there, kind of a channel to get the wires out of the way. Quick disconnect for the rear motor, big oversized adjustable length kickstand, stuff that I'm used to seeing on high quality bikes, but at a pretty decent price. So I was impressed with that. There's a close-up of the levers, another one of the mechanical brakes. I'm glad that those are 180 millimeter, because again, this is a lot of weight. And getting back to the motor, you know, internally geared motor means you're going to feel a little bit more torque, but it doesn't have to be quite so big or heavy. So even though this is a 57.5 pound bike, that's what I'd expect, and it's actually not terrible given all the stuff that's that's on it, and the motor's just really powerful. I'm only like 135 pounds, so for me it's just like, whoa, you know, it totally goes, and that's why I was using some of the lower levels of assist. Top speed 20 miles per hour, so this is a class 2 electric bike. To get it going, you first have to turn it on back here. See, there's this red switch. Make sure you do that first. It's a little bit of a hassle. It's a second step. Then you come up here and press on. Okay, so this won't turn on unless you first activated the battery. And again, to get the light back here, you press this little power button, kind of rubberized thing on top. To turn the headlight on, you press this button. So you've it's a little bit redundant. Double steps, I guess, to get all the lights activated. But that's not too bad, at least it has them. And then there's the display. So very nice. Before I tell you about how it works, I wanted to call out this nice little USB port on the bottom. Look at that, very cool. So if you had a rechargeable portable electronics, maybe you mount like a GPS or like some boombox things up here, the speakers, I've seen that. Riding down the beach, just tons of fun. It's neat to have that option, be able to run right off the main battery, which by the way uses Samsung cells, pretty high quality stuff, 48 volt, 10 amp hours, so 480 watt hours. You should get easily 20 plus miles, even if you're using the throttle the whole time, and even if you're a little bit heavier. You should be able to climb pretty well with this bike. It's pretty good stuff. I wanted to call out that they even kind of reinforced the frame back here a little bit. I was noticing that earlier. Anyway, so coming back up to the display panel, pretty traditional in what you get. You've got speed over here. You've got pedal assist level. It can go all the way down to 0, which makes this a throttle only electric bike, and you can see a trigger throttle. So if I push that down, it would just zoom right off. And then up through 5 levels of assist. You do get throttle override. So again, the way I tend to ride is with a lower level of assist to conserve battery and actually pedal and maybe not go too fast because I'm just on a cruiser. But then if I need to pass someone or catch up to maybe a pretty looking person that I want to talk to up ahead on the trail, I could just zip there. We just press that throttle. So I love that. And again, it doesn't compromise the grip. So you get the nice ergonomic grip. And when you need to, you just reach for that trigger throttle. Okay, so coming back to this, you've got like 5 bars on a battery. Then you've got kind of a trip indicator. If you press set, you can cycle through time, odometer, and then trip meter again. And then there are a few different modes too. So there's eco, normal, and power mode. So you can even tell the bike kind of how fast you want it to exert energy. Do you want it to be really zippy, or do you want to conserve energy? And in the higher modes, like I said, I mean, this thing really goes. It really gets going. So it's nice that they kind of included that. You can press the power button up here. It looks like it does the lights again. Very cool. Very cool stuff on this display panel. It is backlit, so again, at night you've got the lighting and even backlighting happening there. Over here on the right, you've just got the Shimano SIS Index, kind of a cheaper shifter, but it works if you've got gloves on. Maybe it's a cold day at the beach. 7 gears is decent. Sort of a lower quality derailleur. It's kind of entry-level Shimano tourney, but again, 7 sprockets. That's enough to climb with and get home if your battery runs out or something, because again, it's a little heavier, and some of the cruisers only have one gear, which isn't really enough for this much weight. I think that's it. We've gone through just tons of details with this bike. I'm really enjoying it, and I feel like the value's there. Let's go ahead and hop on and see how it performs. I'm going to take it down to pedal assist level 1, just so we don't get too carried away. I mention this a lot, but because this has a rear rack and because the rack's higher with the battery on it, just be careful when you swing your leg over so you don't hit your shin. And you can see right here, if I kick it, see how it kind of like jiggles? That's what I mean by like flexiness in the frame. And that's okay. You know, it absorbs some bumps and stuff. We're not going to be, this isn't a road bike. We're not going off-road or anything like that. It's okay that it's a little more flexy. It's just something to kind of keep in mind. It's not performance. This is about cruising and chilling out. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and hold the camera down there, and you can see how quickly assist kicks in. Almost immediately. That's on the lowest level of assist. So again, I'm kind of glad that I'm not going much over 7 miles per hour here. Nice pedaling in gear 3. Relaxing, enjoying the outdoors. Loving this. Okay, then we go up to pedal assist level 2. So you hear a little bit of a delay, but you know, nothing too bad. And then if I want, I can do the throttle, so get ready for that. Very cool. Testing out those disc brakes a little bit. This time I'm gonna do it in pedal assist level 5, so you can see just how like fast and powerful it can get. Pretty easy to zip up to 20 miles per hour. Pedal assist level 5. That's nice. And again, these upright handlebars. Check out my body position here. Pretty relaxed. I can spot traffic. Enjoy the sights and sounds. So I was talking about the different power modes earlier. You can see eco, normal, and power. To get to those and to change any of the other settings in this display, you just hold set for a few seconds. There we go. And now I can go plus or minus and change from normal up to power, or down to eco. So if you feel like it's giving you too much power, maybe going too fast, just take it down to eco and it should accelerate a little bit more slowly. And that's, again, it's nice if you're just out cruising and maybe you're riding with someone who's on a traditional bike and you don't want to zip past them. If we hit set again, it takes us in here to the trip meter. We can see how many miles we've gone. You can change the wheel size from 26 inches to something else and change from miles per hour to kilometers per hour. So yeah. So I think that is about it. That's the E-Lux Newport, a brand new model from them for 2016. For all the specs on this, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com. Remember to ride safe and, you know, check out some of the other cruisers, maybe their fat bike, which is the Tahoe. It's just kind of got the big tires. Pretty cool. See you there.